Hello, Michael Finn, Holistic Exercise and Lifestyle Coach, and today I'm going to answer a question from right here on YouTube. So if you have your own questions, make sure to put something in the comments down below. You can ask a question there, or you can shoot me an email. I always put my email in the description down below each video. So you can always email me a question too, and I will answer it right here on YouTube, just like I'm going to do today. So today's question came from Parmod. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly, or Pramod, on how to get down into the bottom of a lunge. So some people do struggle with getting down all the way down into the bottom of a lunge. And so one way we can do that is by giving support. So holding two sticks in our hands. So if we get into our lunge position where we have one foot out, our stationary lunge position, where we have one foot a good 3 feet out in front of the other foot or so that you end up at the bottom of the lunge. You end up at about 90 degrees here at the front knee and about 90 degrees here at the back knee, and being up nice and tall. That's kind of your good standard lunge for a good vertical shin position. We can have a smaller gap, but for today let's just focus on having that gap of a 90-90 down at the bottom. So what you can do is you can hold your two sticks to give you some balance. Think about bending your back knee as you drop down into that lunge. Just go to what you can. You can use your hands for a little bit of support or a little bit of balance. Pause there at whatever you can hold for 2, 3, 4 seconds, and then come back up to the top position of the lunge. All right? So this is how you can strengthen up your lunge and strengthen up the stability. And I'm going to show you some other stretching exercises too that are going to help with this as well, so that you can generate more stability and strength in your lunge without struggling. As you get good with that, you can set one of the sticks aside without it falling over, and you can just use one stick. I tend to like to make a tripod. So I've got my right leg in front, I've got the stick in my left hand, and it's pretty much in the same, it's just as far in front of me as my foot is. And that way I have a tripod between my right foot in front, my left leg in the back, and my left hand holding onto another stick. Okay, and then I can drop down into my lunge and I can come back up, making sure to stay up nice and tall that way. And this way we have a little bit of stability, and we can even use our arms a little bit if needed to generate some strength. So even in history, I know I believe it was a group of monks that started using sticks to develop strength, and doing some swings and some squats and holding on to sticks and pulling and pushing themselves around with using sticks, and developing a lot of strength that way, as well as improving and doing some rehab work to help strengthen their legs from sitting and meditating too much and not getting strong legs. So that's why we want to do lots of lunges. So that's one way where we can work at getting better at our lunge when we're having a hard time getting all the way down to the bottom of a lunge. Another way we can do it is we can actually start at the bottom of the lunge. I'm going to use the sticks again just for fun. So if we started on the ground and you're already down here on the ground with your knee on the ground, make sure there's padding underneath your knee if you need it. Okay, like I'm here on my yoga mat. And then what you can actually do from this position is you can just push your front foot into the ground and see if you can just get your knee just a little bit up off the ground, and then set yourself back down. So, and if you can actually push and hold yourself for a few seconds in that bottom position, you'll develop a lot of strength that way too. But even if you can't get yourself off the ground and you're just pushing into the ground to try to lift yourself up, that will develop strength and develop the coordination to help yourself get into that position. And then if you have your sticks here, like I do on the opposite sides of my foot, I can actually use my hands, and I can actually push a little bit with my hands too to help pull myself out of that position. All right, so that's a great way that we can use to end up getting into that bottom of the lunge better. And these sticks are just things I picked up at the hardware store. They're like closet dowel rods. You can use a broomstick, a mop stick, whatever you want. Other exercises that we can use to improve lunging ability is just a simple step up. going up my little step here. I do this with lots of clients to get them ready for lunging and developing the strength that they need for lunging by just doing a step up, because stepping up on something is a lunge. As people get better with a small little step, I increase the step height a little bit more. So now I'm up on the 12-inch box, and I'll go up on the 12-inch box. And you can do the same thing here. You can really focus on lowering down nice and slow. You're going to develop more strength that way than you will of just going up fast and coming down fast. You want to try to go a little bit slower. And then eventually you want to develop a step. So I'll start people on a low box, get them really comfortable with a small little step. Then I'll add some weight to it. Then as they get good with the small box and weight, I'll take the weight away and I'll make the box taller. Have them do a higher box, just their body weight. Then I'll add more weight again. They'll get used to that, and then I'll make the box taller, take the weight away again, and just kind of rotate and progress through. But eventually you want to build up to where you get up to a step where when you put your foot up on the step, your thigh is parallel with the floor, because that's going to be the bottom of your lunge. So eventually you want to develop strength to where you can push up onto a step like that without a problem. And you're not pushing off of this bottom leg that's still on the floor, you're actually pushing through the top leg. And once again, if you feel a little unstable, you can have a wall next to you. You can grab one of these sticks again, and you can put a stick in the hand so that you have some stability there, and so that you can develop that strength to actually push all the way up. But once again, start at the bottom with a small little step, and then work your way up to bigger and taller steps. And then one other exercise you can use is, most people know this floor bridge, laying on your back with your legs bent, with your feet flat on the floor, and pushing both legs into the floor to bring your hips up. Well, you can do this on one leg too. Just pick one leg up off of the floor, or one foot up off of the floor, and you can push one leg, and you can work on single leg bridges. And working that single leg bridge will help develop some of the strength to get it to the point where you can lunge better as well. So, and you can do all three of those exercises in one workout to work your lunge movement pattern, because that is one of our movement patterns, is I use that lunge pattern to just get up off the floor. Flexibility wise, other things that we want to look at, are your feet and are your toes flexible enough to get into that flexed position when we're doing our lunge? Can you actually flex that ankle and that foot? And therefore, you can find other videos here on my YouTube channel about stretching the calves and the toes, but being up on a step and dropping your heel down towards the floor and stretching out the calves that way. You can also use a slant board. You can do the old Rocky hands on the wall, pushing the hips forward and pushing your heel down to the floor. You'll see lots of runners do that too. So making sure that we have flexibility in the feet and the toes. I have many videos on here about that. And then the other big important one is making sure that you have flexibility in the hip flexors and the upper quad muscles, or the rectus femoris, so that once again we can get down into this position and still keep our hips up over our knee. And with that, we do that kneeling quad stretch, where we have a wall behind us and I put my foot, I'm kneeling down on the floor, and I put my foot up on the wall with my knee down on the floor. I bring the other leg out in front, so that there's my lunge position, and I try to tuck my hips all the way under and bring my butt all the way to my heel, so that I get that stretch in through the quad, and I open all that up to give me the flexibility so that I can drop all the way down into the bottom of that lunge position. So you will find this stretch, if you just search kneeling quad stretch, you will find this stretch here on my YouTube channel as well. So that was the question for the day: how to get down into the bottom of a lunge and how to progress your lunge. Okay, so start with one of those exercises that you can be successful at, and get good at it for a good month or so before trying to increase it and make it a little bit more challenging. All right, and if you have other questions, don't hesitate to put something in the comments down below. Put your question down there, or send me an email. There is no bad question. The only bad question is the one that we don't ask. So we're all out here in the world to help each other. I'm here to help other people that want my advice on how to be happier, healthier, more fit, more athletic throughout their entire life, no matter what age you are at. So please subscribe to the channel, ring the little bell, put your comments down below. I hope you all have a happy and healthy day, and keep working on those lunges. It's a super important movement pattern.